Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Blake Sloan, one of the top real estate agents not only on the Grand Strand, but in the world. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, the Wall Street Journal, NBC, and many other publications. And now, the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. That's it. Welcome in to the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. We'll be talking with Blake in just a second. In the meantime, here's some contact information because you're going to hear a lot of amazing stuff over the next 30 minutes. And when you hear it, you're going to say, what? What did he say? I need to hear more about that. Well, if that's the case, that's pretty much what everybody does. And that's why they call Blake all the time. But here's his number. Call 843-808-SLOAN at BlakeSloan.com. Next 30 minutes. In the meantime, here's Blake Sloan.
Good morning, everyone. Got an awesome brand new show. I've been in town here, obviously, the whole week hustling. So no out of town this past week. So I'm glad with that. We have some huge news this week about our team, and that it's some new rankings that came out. We're top 0.5 or 1% in the world again, which super thankful for. We'll talk about where we came in at on that list and what that means again for anyone that hasn't heard that in the past. It's really cool. It's called Real Trends, a company that ranks all the top agents and teams within the world. So pretty cool story there to see where we stack up. And again, these are places against like huge marketplaces like Dallas, LA, San Francisco, all these big marketplaces. So it's super cool to see us prevail and do very well on that. So we'll also talk about that. We'll also get to a few things I did not get a chance to talk about last week as well. Some of the stuff about being in California. I mentioned I was out there basically getting my certification I've been working on for the past a little over a year in regards to this thing called Wake Up Warrior I'm a part of, how to be a better businessman, a better father, a better leader, and it's super cool stuff. We'll talk about that. Had that on my list last week that I thought would be super cool to talk about. We'll dig into the market numbers for anyone that missed that. We're finishing up, obviously, this month. We'll have the brand new numbers out for this month here next week. We're into, obviously, the hot season, so it's definitely up for sure. And also have a brand new local celebrity on our team that we hired who works at this radio station. So I don't know if Davey knows about that or not, but super excited about that. And we'll dig into a few more things to list if we have time.
All right, sounds good. A lot of good stuff to get to, so make sure and stick around. Coming up, we got so many things to get into as we get into this thing. But if you've never heard Blake before, if you're just tuning in for the very first time, if you're brand new in town, you need to know who Blake is and what he's all about. He's been called the Real Estate Whiz Kid. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, Wall Street Journal, NBC, Realtor magazine. You've seen him on TV along with Fox and Friends and NBC. Endorsements, personal endorsements on this very radio station from Sean Hannity, from Glenn Beck, Barbara Corcoran, and more. Put those all together, it's just unprecedented in the world of real estate. Now, we also learned a little bit from week to week about some of the trademark systems that Blake has to help both buyers and sellers, but it all comes down to one thing, and that one thing he's not afraid to share with you. Here, everything else, you need to get closer to Blake, but right now he can share with you the most important thing.
For sure, and I think I made this my calling in life and business because I've seen it so many different ways and how it affects both buyers and sellers out there. And the reality is, what Dave was talking about is the fact that the single most important variable that determines your failure or success as a home seller or home buyer comes down to one thing only, period. Okay. That one thing is the agent that you choose. That's what determines your success or failure because it matters how they handle the details. So for example, in selling a property on the listing side, if you want to list and sell your home, there's 118 different variables from A to Z. If each one's handled correctly, guess what? Puts money in your pocket, property actually gets sold. If any of those are handled incorrectly, right, aka the ball gets dropped, for example, not good pictures, they don't answer the phone, they don't answer buyer inquiries, they don't give back to people in time. All these small details, right? If they're not handled correctly, it costs you money or the opportunity is lost and does not get sold. We see that happen a lot of times in our marketplace here. Even in a hot market, a lot of properties get listed, they don't get sold. And so what we did is we identified every single one of those variable points, right? We created a system in place that's proven to repeatable. Most agents don't even know what they are. They're just winging it, right? They're just hoping to get it sold, pushing through. We identified them and created a system, like I said, that's proven repeatable that creates maximum leverage every single point. So it's like stacking the dominoes. There's a big gap between us and everyone else at the end by the time you're done with it. It's called the guaranteed sold system, right? The only proven system sells twice as fast and for up to 20% more money than traditional methods. And it's very powerful. It's like we talked about before. It's like someone getting into marathon. Everyone starts at the same time, the starting line. The difference, though, is over 2 or 3 hours. There's massive gaps between who gets that marathon finished, right? And obviously how long it takes them. And so it's the same exact thing that we do. We create maximum leverage with every single small increment. You stack that up over all those, there's a huge gap in us. And so I designed it. We license other agents across the country. It works very, very well. It's exclusive to us because I designed it. Okay, and so that's something that we looked at what people did outside of real estate, brought it back into real estate. So it gives our clients a huge competitive advantage. But people will list and just think that everyone's the same like commodity. It could not be further from the truth. The same thing on the buy side, right? There's basically 100 plus different variables on the buyer side. And if each one's handled correctly, it makes you money, it helps save you money, and you actually get the property that you want. And if anything's handled incorrectly, obviously it does the opposite. That's called the unfair advantage home buying system. Only proven system gives basically priority access to foreclosures, distress sales, desperate sellers, the absolute best negotiation in the purchase process, aka price, and also in the home inspection process, which is obviously something that needs to be negotiated as well. And so both those are massive, massive tools and advantages that give our clients the ultimate competitive advantage when they buy or sell.
All right, sounds good. Well, you've got an idea of what you're going to be hearing over the next 30 minutes, so stick around for the next 30 minutes and hear it all because it's really important stuff. Coming up in just a second, we've got some great stuff that you'll need to know, including the mortgage rates, to see what's going on around, and also we'll find out what's happening in our markets as well with the latest real estate update. It's all part of what's coming your way here in the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Remember that number. It's 808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD. Hey, it's your friend Sean Hannity. Now, if you own property in Myrtle Beach, the national marketing plan of the realtor that you choose is absolutely critical. Now, that's exactly why you need to talk to Blake Sloan at Sloan Realty Group. Now, Blake has a marketing system on a whole different level than anyone else in Myrtle Beach. That's so effective at capturing local buyers from around the world that he can guarantee to sell your home at a price and a deadline that you agree to, or Blake's going to buy it. While most agents rely on yard signs and open houses that attract the occasional buyer, Blake attracts hundreds of buyers each month, which creates demand and helps your property sell fast and for top dollar. Now, that's why, on average, Blake sells a property every single day of the year and is ranked among the top 100 agents in the entire U.S. by the Wall Street Journal. Now, working with Blake is risk-free. If you're not happy, Blake gives you the freedom to cancel your contract and pay nothing. So give Blake a call today at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or just go online and see Blake's interview on NBC at blakesguarantee.com.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. To sell your home on time for the most money, you need a sharp agent with a marketing strategy that creates the most demand. Bottom line, you need a partner willing to put their own money on the line for you. In Myrtle Beach, I would hire Blake Sloan. His international marketing creates so much demand that if your home doesn't sell at a price and deadline you agree to, Blake will buy it. Partner with an agent I trust. Go online or call and get your home sold.
It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Remember, coming up in just a second, we'll find out some of the most important numbers you're hearing all weekend, what the mortgage rates are looking like right now. But what does the real estate market look like right now? That's why Blake is here. What does it look like, Blake?
So quick update for anyone that missed the past couple of weeks. Remember, it was down slightly for single family homes, right? It was down like literally like 5-10 houses. And so right now, if you look at this past month, May, versus the same May last year, it's the exact same. They've just added, remember, so it's a real-time tool that we have. And literally as agents put their sales in for last month, it kind of creeps up one by one. So we just passed the threshold by one. And so, for example, last month, there were 567 homes sold for single family homes. In May of last year, there were 566 homes sold. So we've crept back up to breaking even plus one. So long story short, a 0.2% increase. But look, good news is about 3 weeks ago, we were down about 2%. So as agents enter their sales in a month later, that's where you see that come in play. But long story short, we're pretty much flat from a sales standpoint for single family. The great news, though, here's where it matters. Everyone cares about what's my house worth, right?
Sure.
What am I going to get for it? So check this out. Single family homes, which is obviously the most reliable to gauge the market, resale is up 9.5% last month. So a huge jump, which is awesome. So 224,000 is the median price, which is super cool in that regard. If you look back into January, the median price was 190,000, and so that's just showing you something super powerful. One thing I want to bring up, just to look at the seasonality of our market. If you look at the graph, which obviously you can't see, but just so I can kind of describe it, it's a giant graph that's going up and down. But you can see the very seasonality that we're in, right? So, for example, in January of this year, there are 348 single-family home sales for resales. Just last month, there were 567. So you can see the difference there, obviously, in regards to what we're looking at, where it's close to almost double. That's why it's important for you as a home seller to take advantage of the seasonality, right? Everyone knows we're a vacation destination, so June, July, August are the busiest months, right? And so we'll see the same thing happen here soon once we get June's numbers. And so the reality is the market's hot. We can tell right now it's sustained fairly well too, based on rates going up, which is great. Everyone's finally selling what they have up north, and they're coming down here, and that's continuing as well. Inventory, right? That's been what's driving a lot of this prices. You see almost a double-digit increase in prices. It has to do with inventory. So obviously, sales flat, prices up. There's less to choose from. And so what's happening here? Like right now, there's 5.5 months of supply on the entire MLS. What that means is, if nothing else was listed from today on, they would take 5.5 months to sell all of it out. It's a tool that's always gauged. We were at 6 and 7 months before. Obviously, we dropped down a few months back below 6%. Below 6 months. Anything below 6 months is a seller's market. It's 5.5 months, which equates to a great seller's market right now. You don't want it to get too low, because if it does, there's massive frustration, and basically you have a stalemate between buyers and sellers because they don't want to sell what they have. They can't find anything else to buy, and it goes back and forth in that regard. And so awesome opportunity right now for anybody thinking about selling. As you know, the time is now, obviously, to make that move. When everyone who's been stalking properties for 6 and 8 months up north is in town looking at stuff right now, buying. So awesome news there as well. The next part, obviously, is new construction. New construction sales last month up 4.8%, which is great news overall with that as well. The other part too, pricing for new construction up 4.9% last month as well, for median number $262,000, which is a great number there. Obviously, everyone knows that new construction there is a little bit higher median price than resales, obviously because they're brand new. There's 5.6 months of inventory right now on the market for new construction. The interesting part there is that inventory is up for new construction homes, where it's been down for months and months and months. So they're finally catching up to some of that demand, which is great as well in that aspect. And also it's helpful for anyone in the resale market too. So great news here. Also into condos. So condos right now, sales are kicking butt last month, 13.5% increase in sales. Anytime that we're seeing a double-digit growth, anything 10 or above, that means we're smoking, right? And so great news there. Overall, 612 resale condo sales last month alone, which is great news. Their prices last month for condos up 4.5% versus same month last year before, which is awesome. Right at 127,500. And so the other part too that you're running into is inventory. Inventory condos is like sinking, it's crazy low. Right now it's 4.9 months. Again, that's one of the lowest we've seen it. It's been hanging on there a little bit past few shows, down 23.4% from the same time last year. And so you're seeing a huge decline there in availability, which obviously helps prices. We know it's all supply and demand based. You can see supplies massively down both in condos and homes. We're coming to the peak of the market, which is June, July, and August. So you as a seller, right, condo seller or home seller, want to maximize that and take advantage. Again, like I always say, don't wait till October to call us. Right now, things are smoking hot. Everyone's coming into town. They're looking at properties like crazy. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But ultimately, great news for home sellers out there as well. One thing that's helped too recently, the past few weeks, is obviously interest rates. They're holding tight, which is great. We saw some of the highest rates in 4 years. We saw they're recent right now for a 30-year fixed rate today, 4.66%. A 15-year fixed rate mortgage right now, 4.11%. A 30-year FHA loan is 4.38%. A jumbo loan, 4.69%. And a 5-year adjust rate mortgage is 4.01. Just kind of looking at last week's show, just kind of keep track. There's 4.69%. So we're down slightly, which is great. I was kind of reading up this morning, and pretty much, mortgage rates haven't been too interested in making big moves at all, which is great. Stay pretty much flat in that regard. And that's obviously good and bad, right? So we're pretty much in line with some of the lowest levels seen since that Italian, political issue in May. But ultimately, we're still been hovering at some of the highest in 4 years, right? So the great news for us coming into the summer market here as a beach destination is that they're still staying low. They're not, jumping up continually up to 5% and above, where everyone says it will start to affect us. And so right now we're still in that sweet spot. Anybody that's been hesitating, or you had your house listed there before, it didn't sell, or you had a friend or relative or someone who was not able to get theirs sold, like I said, club them over the head, say, look, you got to call Blake. Give us a call, 843-808-SOLD, because we're kicking butt right now. I'll talk about that in a minute. We have some awesome success stories from just this past week. I think my team will close 10 just this week for myself. And so on top of that 10, so we're kicking butt from that regard, because it's go time, right? We're all burning at both ends, working long days. And like I said, I grew up here. We always know got to make the hay while the sun shines, which is that summer market, right? And so I remember as a kid growing up, we talked about it over and over. Wintertime was dead, summertime's go time, and that's what we're doing here for sure.
All right. Well, coming up in just a minute, we'll find out about some of those great success stories, and we'll also find out what your hot buyers alert is looking like this week. It's all part of a don't miss show each and every week right here on Hot Talk 99.5. That's all coming your way. Remember, if you want to get in touch with Blake, easy to do. Call 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or go online to BlakeSloan.com. BlakeSloan.com. If you want your home sold on time and for the most money without all sorts of excuses, hi, it's Glenn Beck. And when I had to sell my home, I went through several agents who all had good ideas, but the bottom line is they couldn't get the job done. Well, you have a celebrity in your own town. I lived in Myrtle Beach, no question. I would call Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. Blake has a marketing system that reaches buyers from around the U.S. and around the world, and week after week, he attracts hundreds of buyers, and that creates incredible demand. And that's why he can guarantee to sell your home at a price and a deadline that you'll agree to, or he's going to buy it. Plus, you don't really risk anything when you list with Blake, since if he doesn't live up to the contract, you walk away free and clear. It's really no wonder why Sean Hannity and I, along with real estate tycoon and Shark Tank star Barbara Corcoran, endorse Blake. Call Blake Sloan right now, 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or visit Blake's website. That's Blake'sGuarantee.com. Blake'sGuarantee.com. Or listen to Blake's Real Estate Show every Saturday morning at 9 or Sunday morning at 11:30 right here on WRNN. Welcome back to the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Coming up in just a second, great success stories and a lot of other great information that you need to know on this week's show. Right now, though, time for your hot buyers alert, and they are hot. Blake and his team working with just a ridiculous amount of home buyers who are looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach area, anywhere in the range from $150,000 to $3.5 million. If you're in that range and even thinking of selling, contact Blake immediately. The phone number is 843-808-SOLD. How many people are looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach area? Well, Blake told you this is the hot time of the year, and selling is hot as well. Over 47,712 active home buyers on the website right now looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach area, and they would be looking for yours as well if you listed there with Blake.
Oh yeah, massive people. So like right now it's like craziness. And like Dave was talking about, these numbers are like real people, username, password, account. I know we see it all the time, but it's just such, I get that question all the time. Like, are those hits?
Yeah.
Like, no, these are real people. Like right now, Tina Mapes is on the site right now. She's been to the site 57 different times. Annie Blaine from Florida, 75 different visits. Christy Lacey from Charleston, South Carolina, 34 visits, brand new. Nancy McGraw from Greenville, South Carolina, 60 visits. And so we got all kind of Donald McHale from Wake Forest, 1,539 visits. So massive amounts of searches on here. And so the bottom line is we need inventory. We talked about here, we're at massive lows, some of the lowest we've seen it from an inventory standpoint. And so what happens is our advantage is I spend massive amounts of money online driving traffic to our team model, right? We have a team of buyer experts who all day, every day, they serve buyers. And so what they're doing is obviously helping them, serving them, but we're also in business to help serve our seller clients too. And so we have a duty to help match up buyers and sellers. And we're very, very good at that. We have technology that's actually reverse engineer the most likely buyer for that property based on our previous search terms. So we're very, very big into high tech technology. I think we're leading the field a lot of times in our industry, which is something I'm big on, something I was persecuted for back in the early days by the old school agents. But we're here developing technology and tools that will literally look at search patterns from previous searches they're doing, calculate, reverse engineer the most likely home for them and the one that we have. And so any listings we have, they'll literally calculate and show the top buyers for that based on their percentage match. So it'll be like 94%, 93%. And so our team is able to match up buyer and seller. Meanwhile, a lot of the old school agents out there are still trying to figure out Microsoft Outlook, and so a whole different way to look at things from a capacity standpoint. So bottom line, if you're thinking about selling, drop my phone, sorry. Basically, if you're thinking about selling, reach out to us. Give us a call, 843-808-SOLD. That's one thing too, where now is go time for all of us. And one of our biggest problem is finding inventory for people to be able to buy, right? Because obviously certain buyers are picky. That's something that they want to look at as well. And so that's something that's super powerful as well. Also, I guess we can jump into the success stories. I guess you want. Super cool ones here as well. And let's get to a couple. Matt, he had a property list with another agent for 6 months. No action, no offers, just pure frustration. the coolest part here, which I like to lead with these, they referred to us by one of our awesome radio listeners. They had Matt call us. He called in. We came in and identified the problem immediately. It was a marketing issue. The way it looked online was not the way it looked in real life, and it was not being portrayed correctly, which was obviously limiting buyers from coming in there. And so we launched our global marketing blitz, drove massive traffic, had under contract right at full asking price in 2 weeks, which is super awesome. Also, another cool story, Millie, she called us up trying to sell her home for sale by owner unsuccessfully. This is what makes it kind of worth it for us. So this is a cool story. That she reached out to us. She was wanting somebody she could trust. Her husband had passed away, was not sure what to do, needed top dollar, so she was trying to do for sale by owner. The reason she hadn't called anybody, wasn't sure to trust Barbara Corcoran. She saw one of our commercials on Shark Tank with Barbara Corcoran, who endorses us, reached out to us. We came in, showed her how to net more money, implement our global marketing blitz, drove massive traffic, had it under contract for almost at full asking price in less than 2 weeks as well. And so these just happen over and over and over. That house was in Surfside there, the other one in Myrtle Beach. And so these are things that are super powerful. I just got one email me too by Jerry, my team, about Jim and Gloria. They referred to us by a friend of theirs. They needed to sell their condo because they had already bought a home and obviously did not want the condo anymore, but they also needed top dollar. So came to us, launched Global Marketing Blitz. Within 2 weeks, had the unit under contract for 3% more than any other unit in the complex had sold for within the last year. And so these are things that we're seeing happen all the time with what we do. And then we're also very good at justifying with appraisers, things like that, where we need to be. And so that's something that's super powerful. And last one here is George. Had 2 homes in Carolina Forest, moved to Florida. We talked about this last week. And we matched up to a buyer that we had to buy out immediately. So we have 2 ways we can help. One, we can go full, we call it full retail, right? To we have amazing retail product. No one can touch what we do, I feel, from a marketing standpoint. Like you said, 40,000 plus buyers. But also, if somebody needs something quickly, as is, we can have it bought out. Myself buy it out. One of our investor clients also buy it out. We can do that for you as well. If you don't want to hassle, with what putting in the market, doing all the other, things to it, we have that program for you as well. I'm doing that because I'm seeing that being offered in some other parts of the country, and we really led the charge on that. We've been buying houses and doing that stuff for a very long time. But I think that people this time want convenience. And so that is an option if you don't want to mess with it. And here's the deal. We'll guide you and say, here's probably what's best based on what you want to do. Here's some minimum fix-ups. A lot of people tend to the one thing I noticed being in the business for a long time is literally every single week I notice people tend to overthink it. They think it needs a lot more than it does. Like, oh, we don't want to get rid of, have to do all these things. Like, it's not as bad as you think it is. It's not as cluttered as you think it is. It's not as dirty or need that many updates. We very rarely sell a lot of homes that are, totally like brand new remodeled, right? I mean, it's either a new construction or a resale. People kind of know what they're getting. And so don't be afraid to reach out, and just if you're curious, call us. Like, we're here to advise you, to help serve. We're here for the long term. We've been here for a very long time, and we hope to continue to do so. And so don't be afraid to call if you just need an opinion. We're more happy to come out, take a look at it. There's never any pressure. Obviously, we do a lot of business and we're going to be okay. So there's not any pressure from us on that standpoint as well with that. And so that's something super cool. How much time we got left?
About 5 minutes or so.
So cool thing. Do you know who that person is that we hired us talking? You don't. So we actually have been working for a while. Just went through training and stuff this week. Working with Tommy Collins here from the sister station, I guess you call it, right? He's the Wave 104. Wave 104, yeah. The Tommy and Abby show, which is super cool. It's amazing sharp dude. I've known him for a while, and he went and got licensed. It was kind of doing that some other time, and so super excited to have him on the team. But that speaks very well, and obviously, Tommy and Corby, right? Yeah,
Tommy Corby.
yeah.
I didn't want to correct you.
I'm like old school. I've seen it. I listened to us on a couple of different stations. Yeah, so
We all go through new partners from time to time.
and so I listened to that show for a very long time before. But anyways, and we sold Corby's parents' house or condo for them too, and so that was something that we're super excited about, which is pretty neat as well. And then another cool part there that I was going to announce kind of for our team, which is super neat. Our entire team was ranked in the top 1,000 agents in basically North America, but they do other parts as well. Most of the people in North America. We've been on this list for a very long time. We came in at number 197, which is amazing. It's from our numbers last year in 2017. And again, the people we're competing against are big like Tri-City areas, Los Angeles, Dallas, Miami, and so for us to pull that off, super impressive. So I'm super proud of my team. Super thankful of our team. Obviously, I think they all know I'm pretty crazy. I tend to push the limits as far as I can in the red line. very part of that. But we're super thankful for that. Super thankful for our clients who trust us, for everyone who's referred, people to us. Just know we're in it to obviously help our clients win, which obviously shows up in the results on the back end. And so that's something we're super thankful for as well. And we got like 2 or 3 minutes?
Yeah, at least.
So one thing that I thought was pretty cool is everybody asks me all the time about this thing in California, what we do, and part of that was I did almost 400 hours of training just this year on top of everything else, right? Obviously, I'm a big person in a lot of self-help. I've read hundreds and hundreds of books. I've had 3 or 4 coaches all times in life. And so I became part of this program in 2015. It's a brotherhood of businessmen, pretty much businessmen only, but it teaches you how to be a better father, a better husband, and ultimately a better leader. And so the one thing that was a challenge for me was to go through that and become certified. They call it certified trainer to basically help other men and people in business. And so there's a lot of people in real estate that need that, but there's a lot of different fundamentals that we learn and that we kind of go through as well. And so we utilize the same tools within our company, in our organization. That's the same thing that I went out there and had to jump out into the ocean and swim and all that crazy stuff. And there's a bunch of different things that we do. And so it's really the whole thing that I've learned is that we're here to help build people, right? And so we focus on all 4 areas of life for our entire team, everyone that works for us. I think that's something that Tommy liked as well. We talked about is we're here to help everyone optimize in all 4 areas. Their relationship with their family's on fire. Guess what? They're going to be pretty plugged in and doing well at work. Same thing with their body, how they're feeling, their physicality, their spirituality with God, and obviously business matters. And so we boil down to one thing. We look at every single part of the area. I do it for myself, our company. That we look for the results, right? What are the results? Everyone has a story, reasons. We will look at the results, like what are the facts? And we always look at where I'm at right now. And the next part is where am I going? I think I've seen a lot of times people just don't really understand where they're at. They're just in this wash machine of craziness. And so really it's important to take time to get clear on where you're at and look at where you're going, right? And we look at these 4 things called our facts, our feelings and our focus and our fruit. And so those are things we teach here. They're super valuable. They help us help our clients though, right? What are the facts about the situation? What are the things behind that? What's our focus? Because most people aren't having any laser focus. We're laser focused, as you can tell, in regards to what we're looking for, what a result is, what our client needs, and then obviously the last thing we call is our fruit, which is results. A lot of people are just coming in trying to hope to help you get some results. We focus exactly what that is, and we get results. And so I think that's what sets us apart. What gets us to the top 1% in the world. And so we're to continue to do that and push super, super hard as well.
All right, sounds good. A lot of great stuff, a lot of great information, and congratulations on all the accolades as well. Remember, if you want to get in touch with Blake, you can. It's really easy to do. The office is at Sloan Realty Group, and make sure don't be fooled. There are other names that are similar, but this is the only one. Sloan Realty Group. Call 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com. Thanks for all the info, Blake. Do it again next week.
Yes, sir. I'll be here.
All right. We'll see you then for another edition of the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Hey, Myrtle Beach. It's Gary LaBox, lead singer of Rascal Flatts.